Hey, welcome to today's episode of Relationship and Love Classroom. First of all, I want to thank all of you for the following, the sharing, and the comment section, all the questions you've been asking, and I'm very grateful for this faith. If you out there does not share what I have, then I have no message. I'm grateful unto you. So today, we want to continue from where we left off on the last episode, where we were talking about emotional needs in relationships. And we said that emotional needs are needed for everybody, and if we don't have these things in place, we may kill our good relationships. When these things are unmet, our partners feel neglected, they feel unloved, they feel unappreciated, and all that. So to build a very good relationship, we must look at all these things. First, we want to look at how to deal with emotional needs. So you want to go into yourself and ask, what are the things that make me feel loved as an individual? If you're able to identify those things that makes you feel like an individual or feel loved and appreciated as an individual, then you are able to communicate to your partner exactly what it is like. So it is more like, oh, I like being touched. I like being praised. I like being helped. All these things are people's emotional needs. So you as an individual must know what exactly your emotional need is. When you know, you can communicate effectively to your partner how exactly you want to be loved. So when you identify your emotional needs, then you can take your time and communicate to your partner about what exactly it is. Take time and let them understand. If you don't know yours, it is for the other partner to be able to identify, ask questions. But when you identify these things, you must not sound accusatory, especially if you are letting your partner know what your emotional need is. Instead of you saying that you never do this, you never do that, you never hold my hands, you never help me, you never do A or B or C, you may not be communicating right. But if you tell the person, I love it when you hold my hands, I love it when you help me in the kitchen, I love it when you help me to wash, then you are communicating to the person. So the person will now understand what exactly your emotional need is. Don't be accusatory when you want to put all these things across, because you can have a very good case, but how you present it, you may lose exactly what you want to communicate. Okay, so when your partner is talking, listen carefully. When you listen, you are able to appreciate exactly what makes him or her happy in terms of emotional needs. Now, there is somebody whose emotional need is just being appreciated, okay? It gives them to do more. There is somebody whose emotional need is, when I see you, give me a hug. Sometimes it may be something that you are not too familiar or comfortable with, but that is somebody's emotional need. That's your partner's emotional need. So for you to have the peace to be able to appreciate exactly what he or she wants, you want to do it exactly what they want. If you pay critical attention to all this, then we will make the relationship a good one to be on. Now, we want to see how to balance and communicate. You know, you can't meet everybody's emotional needs. No. Nobody can meet anybody's emotional needs 100%. But there should be a balance. Where is the balance? The balance is where the tolerance level is, where it is more like, okay, this is my emotional need. In as much as it is difficult for the other partner, when there's a balance, there's always a way of doing it. When there's a balance, there's always a way of doing it. Then you compromise. Because there are things that you would definitely have to compromise on. Because things are there that you would not like doing, but let's say there's a man who likes watching football. So he wants to go and watch football with their friends and all that. And that is his emotional need. So as a partner, how do you tag along with him to be able to go along the same way to be sure that that need of his is met? Maybe you may now mutate into somebody who has to start following football. If you start following football, then you can have conversation, because conversations can definitely fade in relationships. Every time you can't have the same conversations, but When you are able to compromise on some of these things, you are able to learn along the line to see what is exactly an interest for your partner. So emotional needs are very, very important in every relationship, and the onus lies on all of us. Both the receiver and the giver must all understand and communicate appropriately. And when you do that, all the expectations that people have in terms of these things will be met. Create emotional safety. Avoid criticism, as I said earlier on. Avoid criticisms, and you don't dismiss the issues, because what is somebody's emotional need may sound like a non-issue to the other person. But don't dismiss it, because sometimes when you dismiss these emotional needs, then you are causing trouble for yourself, because the person may just be like, okay, he or she is not interested in me because the things that are of importance to me is not important to him, is not important to her. So in as much as you are creating that emotional safety, you have to be sure that you avoid the criticism. Why do you want to do this? Why? The why questions are always like, you cannot understand what the person needs, but that is the person's emotional need. So instead of you asking why, don't criticize. That is my need. Are you able to meet it for me? If you're able to meet my emotional need, then we are good to go. In as much as that I cannot satisfy all, nobody will be able to satisfy all your emotional needs. But then, we must try as much as we can to get to a point where we converge as partners for everybody's happiness. Love them in their love language. So if you identify the emotional need of that individual, you are able to love them in their love language. You can do everything for your partner, but if you miss his or her emotional needs, all you say is, he's asked for this, I've done it for him. She's asked for this, I've done it for her. You can say all the things, but that person is not being loved out of their emotional needs. So you can do everything, you set your mind and you'll be like, I did all I can. I can't just understand why he or she cannot see what I'm doing for him or her. It is because you are not able to love them in their emotional needs. So if you're able to identify what their emotional needs are, you will love them in that direction. And when you do that in that direction, I bet you, the misunderstandings that come, the condemnation that comes, you've not done anything for me, you are like, I do everything for you. What else do you want me to do for you? What else? I am tired. But that is not it. Try and identify what the emotional need is. You can provide everything for him, you can provide everything for her. But once they are not being loved in their love languages, you will miss the point. You will miss the point. So understand that meeting emotional needs is not just about being present. No. It's about consciously making an effort to identify what makes him or her happy. When you do that, then we are getting somewhere. If you have ever been in a position where your emotional needs are not being met and you cannot explain, come to the comment section and comment. But before then, remember to like, to share, and to subscribe. Then go to the comment section, bring your conversations, and let's see how best we can deal with this. See you in the next episode.